So excited to be here. Anna and I are talking about how to double your client base with the power of alliances. So this is going to be really, really, really interesting and a really great reminder. You may be hearing things you've never heard before. But Anna, I think that this specific episode is so important because in the world of online marketing, it's so easy to get lost and into the idea of numbers, just wanting to reach more people.
Yeah.
Really, the power of there's so much power in quality instead of quantity.
Yes.
And um, and so that's why we're going to talk about alliances and the quality of the connections and that you're making. Like, what is the quality of that? Because if you can learn how to do this, you don't need to reach the masses, even though you want to eventually work towards that. But this is a specific skill that if you really learn how to master this aspect and everything starts with where we focus, right? What we focus on expands. Um, you're going to be golden.
Yeah. Or you could also, yes, the quality matters, right? Because that quality will lead to the quantity later.
There you go. I like that. It's true. It is a skill set, and you're right. If you can first, so let's just say, first of all, hello everyone. If you're joining us live, say hello.
Yes,
And
and we're watching the comments. I'm watching on the phone. So if you have any questions at all while we're live here, just drop them in the comments and we'll check them every now and then. And say hi in the comments as well.
yes, and if you have, yeah, if you have any questions, I lost my train of thought here.
We
What I
were
was
talking about alliances and the quality of the alliances to double your client base.
Yeah. So I remember when I first launched my very first coaching package. At the time, I had a local community that I had built with my best friend. It was called Lady Savant Society. And I don't know how we did it, but it got really big. And we used to do monthly gatherings at different locations, and it was amazing. It was a full on paid membership. When we started it, there really weren't that many networking organizations like ours. Actually, we were the first in our area. So it's really funny because we actually, long story short, we even created a spin-off that was a nonprofit organization from Lady Savant, eventually built two schools, one in Cambodia, one in Africa, South Africa.
Wow.
And it's because we had so many engaged members.
Hmm.
And that's the power of networking. So I'm a really, really big believer that the quality of the connections that you're making is what really, really matters.
Yeah.
Uh, so fast forward a few years, we had Lady Savant, and I wanted to go back into coaching because before Lady Savant, I had built a big company actually in South Florida and in Chicago, where I did mentor a lot of people, a lot of salespeople. So that was my coaching wasn't even like a big thing back then, but that's what I was doing. I was doing the recruiting, the hiring, the training, the mentoring, all of that. And so I wanted to go back into coaching and I did it successfully because I had the quality of the connections already.
Hmm.
So the first thing that I'll say is that there is a difference between networking in person and networking online. And the reason why is because proximity matters.
Yeah.
So think about when you meet, and before I even say anything else, which is why I really believe that you should always have a local strategy and an online strategy
I agree.
and understand the principle of proximity. Okay. So when people are in person with you, they can feel your energy. They can just by the way that you speak, the way that you shake their hand, the kind of conversation, the eye contact, that just overcomes a lot of the know, like, and trust factor like that.
Yeah, the conversations are most likely going to be much deeper too because you're in the same space longer, right?
Yeah. I mean, think about it. Your aura is doing a lot of the work.
Yeah, totally. The unspoken stuff.
Yes, 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 yes. It's very, very, very powerful to do it, in person. Um, and so with that said, that is also it is also possible for you to use the law of proximity to your advantage online,
Yeah.
which is why, Anna, I fell in love with video from the beginning. Because, when you think back to all the things that your life, that the universe takes you through, the path that it takes you through, at one point in your journey, you're going to be able to connect all the dots and say, oh, that's why I was meant to learn how to coach people in sales. That's why I actually was meant to create this networking organization. That's what took me to actually like video because I was looking for the next best thing to being in person with someone, and that's video, right? Live
Yeah.
streams, videos. Even though I've not, I mean, you know me, I don't love being on social media.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree with video. That's also what attracted me to your signature show when I first saw it. Because, like, I've already been doing video and I love video. I love going live. I love being able to engage with my people. I love that, they are able to like feel me,
Yeah,
because they can see me as well. It's not just audio. I love that kind of like that proximity, but what's the word? It's just much a deeper connection, I think, on video.
yeah, because video is, and especially live streams, it's the next best thing to being in person with you.
Yeah.
So I was scrolling through TikTok earlier, and I bumped into one of my students from, I don't know, maybe like a year ago or maybe 2 years ago, Nadia. And she was doing a live stream on TikTok. And she had no makeup. She was in her kitchen. She had her mug, and she had a ton of engagement and people there. And then she sees me show up. She's like, "Oh my God, my coach is here!" And she started talking about how hard it was at first. I remember Nadia. In fact, we're gonna have to have her on the in one of the next episodes.
Yeah.
When I was like, okay, well, part of what we're gonna be doing together in the mastermind is you're gonna go live and you're gonna start creating videos. And she was like, no way, I'm not doing that. I will set up my systems. I will figure out my message and do all of that stuff, but I'm not gonna go live. And just seeing her there and the way that she was engaging with her audience, and her audience were, she had a new program and she's been doing amazing stuff, and people in her audience were like, where's the link, how do I get, like, I want to see, and she was talking to them like they wanted to join her program.
That's
And
such a great example, though, for you. You were per, close to her at that point in time when you just on her TikTok, and she just happened to talk about you in front of her audience.
oh yeah, 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 yeah. Exactly. Well, that isn't a great example of proximity, because proximity is really about connection, right? And
Hmm.
I mean, firsthand, I have a deep connection with all of my students.
Yeah.
If if you're not someone that I could hang out with and be friends with you, you're probably not someone that I would make an offer to work inside of with me and my team. It's just the
Yeah.
way it is.
Yeah, we were talking about that in the circle as far as the values, right? You
Yeah.
attract the same the people with the same values.
And you have to do that consciously. And I remember from the very beginning, I made that choice and I said, I want my circles, my mastermind to feel fun and to feel like it's like my girlfriends and we're hanging out, but I'm leading them in the path that they want to go to, right? And even
Yeah.
Joyce said it yesterday. She's like, it feels like a sisterhood in here. That's why I like
Yes.
it.
Mm-hmm. Yep,
But
yep.
anyways, going back to Nadia, she was creating crazy engagement because that proximity was there. Like her audience, and I saw it with my two eyes, her audience were feeling her energy. She wasn't trying to be anything that she's not. She was being real. She's always very real. And she was just like, she had her coffee, she was telling them about her program, and they wanted more of that.
That's amazing.
It was amazing. I was like, oh my God, I need to record this. I was like, I can't. How do I record this thing? Because it's live. And you
Yeah.
know, nowadays with the with AI, and I know that there's even video like AI avatars and
Avatar, yeah.
things like that, which is great. Like all of these are tools, right, that we can
Yeah.
use. But no one has an excuse to not share content.
Yeah.
But with that said, I really believe that online, our audiences are going to be more skeptical than ever. Is this really her or is this her avatar?
Yeah.
So showing up in the morning with your with your cup of coffee with no makeup is actually going to be a big key and tool to build rapport and have that authenticity.
It's for real, right? It's the real deal. That's the defining factor.
Yes, 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 yes.
So what's for proximity? What are some tips that you can give the people that are watching right now or the replay later on as far as how can they increase their visibility through proximity?
Um, Make sure you're hanging out in places, local or online, where your clients are.
Yeah.
So the
You mean I
algorithm
can't just like work from home all the time?
and hide, no, you can't. Um, no, you really can't. If you're really looking to build an engaged audience, you have to figure out where your clients are.
Hmm.
And whether they're on TikTok or on LinkedIn or on Facebook or on Instagram, where are they? And you have to figure out a way of engaging with them. Um, because the algorithms are going to be different in in all those places. In fact, I was even if you decide to do paid ads, which I've built a lot of my business on paid ads.
Hmm.
And that's a whole nother episode, but I would love to share how some of my mistakes, like building a business purely on paid ads, can be very costly. You can make a lot of money, and I have. And again, also you need an organic strategy
Yes, you need both.
because
It's a kind of like a toolbox, like you said, right? Different ways to connect.
so know where your audience and know that organically, if you're going to do it organically to begin with to start off with, that's totally fine, but you need to do the legwork of where are my audience and what groups are they in, what where who are they following, who are they? So, and the difference between paid ads and organic is just going to be the amount of time that you're going to be putting into it.
Yeah. Time
And
or money. It's always a trade-off.
you're either going to do time or money. That's it. That's it. But I really feel like, I mean, I started organically, then I moved solely to ads, and now we're doing organic and ads, right?
Yeah,
Um, which is great. But proximity, where are they hanging out? Don't put your best effort in, and then you're hanging out in the wrong places, and then you're thinking that your message sucks
right.
because you're
Totally.
not getting, well, yeah, you were not hanging out in the right place to begin with.
You're speaking to the wrong audience.
You're, or you're speaking, yeah, you're speaking to no audience. Your people are not here at all.
Right, for
Like, you
sure. Yeah.
have a great
So,
message.
so is proximity enough, or are there other factors that contribute to that?
I think also another thing is frequency. Like, how often are you showing up? You know,
Yeah.
it's important for people in order to build credibility, there has to be a level of frequency. And
Yeah.
um and that goes for everything. Like it goes for your social media, like your audience on online, as well as your networking in person. I if you're going to find for let's just say that you are looking to network locally and you find a great community. Well, you're not going to get total success like people just throwing their credit cards at you the first time you go. That's just not how it works.
Yeah.
You're going to have to go to their monthly meetings once a month. They're going to get to know you. You're going to get to know them. Eventually, it's a rhythm. You get into the rhythm.
Yeah. Think about like your best friend, the closest person that you are to, right? How often did you have to, have coffee or lunch with this person in order to build that familiarity and trust? It's the
Right.
same way in building relationships and alliances and marketing, right?
Same thing. Same thing. People have to see you several different times in order to this is marketing 101. Like
Yeah.
it used to be the touch points, which is the frequency that we're talking about. Used to be 7 times back in like I don't know, probably like the 70s or 80s. They had to see your brand, your name like 7 times before they were like, "Oh, memorable." Like I've seen that girl. I know what that brand is. Oh, let me buy,
Yeah.
right? But now it's probably like 21 times.
Maybe more because it's so crowded.
Yeah. So if you're thinking that you're going to post one thing and you're going to go viral, your odds are not very good. That's just not how
Right.
it works. And I don't
Yeah.
want you thinking that you're a failure because you've posted 5 things or 10 things and it's not working.
Or you had a hater on one of your
Or you had a
your
hater.
posts.
Actually, that's a really good news. If you have haters, that means that you are pushing buttons,
Yeah.
which is good.
Mm-hmm.
Pushing buttons is good. That means that for every person that doesn't agree with you, there are 3 that are like, yes, this is my girl.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's about being polarizing. I mean, that's good marketing.
Yeah,
Okay.
for
The
sure.
other the other thing about frequency is you have to have a good frequency. You have to have a high frequency.
Yeah. Totally. Two meanings in one word.
So it's like, how often are you showing up and what is your frequency? Like, are you showing up, but you're secretly just wanting people to buy from you?
Yeah.
You know, like that
Yeah. We were talking
desperation.
about that with Vicky's interview last week
Yeah.
about the energy of when she's posting her post. Like, it's not even a live video, right? But the energy of like when you were writing that post, what was your frequency at that moment?
Yeah. It
Yeah.
it matters.
Yeah. And her
It
post
really,
went viral, right? Without her being intentional about it, even like
no,
as
she
far as
just wrote it from the right place.
yes, yes, yes.
So it's about practicing our frequency very frequently,
I
right?
love that.
And having fun with it. I I think fun is just part of the formula. And if
Totally.
when you're having fun, like you're in high vibe, you're high frequency, and you can do things more often when you enjoy it.
Yeah.
So if you don't enjoy showing up to a networking event by yourself, then don't go by yourself. Find someone to go with you. Bring
Yeah.
someone, or change your mindset about it and say, you know what, play a game with yourself. Say, I am going to meet 5 really interesting people today.
Yeah.
And
Or be excited about who do I get to meet?
who do I get to meet?
Yeah.
Exactly. So you're going to have to like hack your brain a little bit and gamify it.
Yeah. Totally.
Yeah.
For sure. So what's the next step? Like is proximity and frequency are those enough or are there other things that contribute to that?
I think also duration,
Yeah.
like how much time do you actually spend on that on in that conversation? How long has that conversation been? It's kind of like frequency, but once the difference is that frequency is just like, oh, I've seen that girl 5 times, but I've never really clicked on
Yeah.
anything or had a conversation with her.
Yes.
And duration is more about, oh, this was our first conversation.
Yeah.
So how deep did that conversation, how many of those conversations have you had, right? Like how many times have you been out to lunch with someone? Now, this is going to be really hard if you're just after a sale. If
Yeah.
you want a quick sale, it doesn't work that way. You really kind of have to be in it to actually build the relationship and care about that person.
Yes.
And with that comes the trust of like people buy when it's the right time or the right offer.
Yeah.
So if they don't buy right away, it doesn't mean it's a no forever. It's just no right now.
Hmm.
Um, but if you continue seeing all of your interactions as you're building connections and community, eventually they will buy something that you have. It's just a matter of time. So it's really you have to see it as like a connection and building that connection. So the duration of your interactions matter. Does that
Yeah.
make sense?
Yes, it does. And it could also be that because the well, you've seen this person many times or you've had a conversation with them many times that familiarity and trust is there. That maybe it's not even them that buys from you, but maybe it's somebody they refer to you because they know you so well that they feel comfortable about your skills, your abilities, your programs, you've demonstrated that to that person. So it may not even be a direct purchase, but it could be a referral.
Amen, sister.
Yeah.
It's true.
So,
It's
yeah,
absolutely true. I mean, I've had so many clients before that came through someone's referral because they've been watching my videos for years. And and I have to say, most of my videos are inside of my group. They're not even on YouTube or on anything else.
we're going to change
Yeah,
that.
we're But I think it is a really good example of how successful you can be with a small audience. And
That is so true.
not that my audience is super small, but I have focused
Yeah.
for up until now on building communities instead of like going deep instead of going wide.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And
Definitely.
and that's really worked for me till now. And also because when you go deep, which actually is the next thing I want to talk about, like intensity,
Yeah.
right? So we have proximity, frequency, duration, and intensity. And that intensity really means going deep instead of just staying on the surface and talking about the weather.
Hmm.
Like, go deep with your relationships. How can you really get curious, truly curious about the conversation you're having, whether it's in person or in the DMs, um, or even in a live stream like this, right?
Yeah.
Don't stay so surfacey.
Yeah. So actually, I was listening to a podcast the other day, and these are like two. If I say their name, they probably know it if they watch YouTube. Um, I mean, who doesn't watch YouTube nowadays? But anyway, they're both top interviewers, top podcasters, right? And one is interviewing the other, and the host asked the guest about his relationship with God. And
Mm.
that was for him, like he stopped for probably three, like he didn't talk like 3 minutes because he was like trying to hold back tears and his emotions and stuff. Like, wow, that's a powerful question. Talk about intensity.
Talk about intensity. Talk
Yeah,
about the things that actually matter, you
yeah,
know, like what actually matters, and not just the surface things. Like, yes, I know you want to build your business and get more clients, but really, let's talk about your soul's purpose in building your business. And
yeah,
why is that important? And I mean, we talk a lot about really deep stuff inside of
yeah.
our Fitness circle, but why not do it why not have that intensity at the right time
Hmm.
with the connections that you're building?
Yeah.
I don't I I'm a pretty deep person by nature, so I'm kind of allergic to superficial bullshit. I
Yeah,
am. I'm allergic to superficial bullshit.
totally.
And
Yeah.
and I don't have time for it or interest for it. I'm definitely not the coach for people who just want a strategy. That's just, you know, I'll just email it to you.
Totally. No, and I think that that needs to be what a coaching relationship, a coach client relationship should look like, should be like, because if you want to realize your mission and your purpose, you can't stay in the surface stuff.
No,
It just won't work. And that's why like when you start working with somebody in our inner circle and they have their first call with you and they're talking about what their message really is and honing down, and it's like you're just so good at that. Like there's just I have never seen anyone like really dive deep. I actually want to send something to you today for feedback because I'm like, I don't know how she does this. I was trying to do it with a friend of mine the other day, trying to figure out her thing. And I was like, I need to have Marielle look at this because this is like your jam. Like this just comes naturally to you, and then you have your spiritual team that like just talks to you while you're doing that too. So that helps. Um, but yeah, like it needs to be that deep, right? You have to go deep with your clients. And that's ultimately what will create that bond.
totally. Totally. And being open to depth and that level of intensity is what allows me to see into whether they have like the right offers,
Yeah.
which is what you're talking about. Like in the inner circle, when the very first call is, let's make sure that what you're selling is truly in alignment with your purpose and that it's going to sell.
Yeah.
And in order to do that, I have to get real and honest with them and really start asking the hard questions. And I can see, I see dead people and offers. I don't see dead people, but I can hear, I can
Yeah.
hear like the insights of this person's things. Like, for example, one of our students inside of the inner circle, she's an artist, and um she's an artist and an activist and a teacher, and she had 3 or 4 different websites. I mean, she's incredible.
Yeah.
The level, the stuff that she created online courses, so she has all of this creative chaos that is just so beautiful, that to me, I was like, oh my God, this is my jam. I love organizing all this stuff.
I knew it because I talked to her first, and then I'm like, okay, you need to have a call with Marielle because she's gonna make sense of all of this.
Yeah, yeah. So the key in that is being able to see the thread that runs through all of those things and
Yeah.
knowing how to organize it in a way that your client, that's going to be easy for people to say yes to you, but also in a way that you're not sacrificing the things that you love to create and do.
Yes. And
Because
your values.
in your values. Because what a lot of coaches will do is they'll tell you, nope, this is not making you money, so leave that on the outside. Like, let's just focus on this. And then you're sacrificing your soul's purpose. Because
Yeah.
why on earth would God give you so many talents and skills and passions if they weren't meant to be used? So talking about intensity, like I want to make sure that my clients use all of their talents packaged up in a way that they're going to be able to make money and profit so they can live and thrive and have a life of freedom,
Yeah.
but also, be able to use it and do those things. So you can,
So to that, just kind of to add to that, because this morning we were voxering each other about gifts and talents, right? And this has been, I knew this, like our gifts and talents, like ours,
oh yeah,
they're not visible to us.
they're not.
Like usually it takes a coach like you, like I've always seen that in you. It's like I didn't know, like it did come natural to me. So like I thought that, so a coach can help you figure that out. A
Has to be a
spouse,
really good coach, by the way.
yes, a really good coach.
And most, I don't say this from ego. Most coaches will not be good at that because
Yeah,
they're focusing on a structure that they created.
that
It's
is so true.
You have to have someone who has the experience of marketing, and also the intuition
Yes,
and the courage to tell you.
that is so true.
Without that, it doesn't matter,
Those are
right?
good traits of a good coach,
That
of a
is,
great coach, actually.
yes. And it comes with time. I mean,
Yeah,
don't think that with my first clients, I was able to do with them what I was able to do with you.
yeah,
I couldn't. I was, as a healer, as a coach, you have to always be growing and stepping deeper and deeper into your power in order to help others step into theirs.
yeah,
However, I do want to say this. The people that the universe puts in front of you are the people that you are meant to help. And there is something that you are going to give them that they are meant to have from you, whether you
yeah,
know it or not, whether it's in your package or not. So you have to trust that.
yes.
Does that make sense? Maybe that was a lot.
No, it makes sense. It makes so much sense. And if they watch the entire thing, it won't make sense. If they skip to this part, it won't make sense.
Watch the whole thing or listen to the whole thing.
Yeah, for sure. So, let's do like just a quick recap of what we just talked about today.
Yeah, so today, so we're talking about how to double your client base with the power of alliances. And creating these alliances can happen either online or it can happen in person, networking, right? And so the power of this is not necessarily in how many alliances you're creating, but the power of the power of the actual connection that you're making.
Hmm.
Now, when you do this correctly, you're going to be able to create partnerships that can change your life. You're going to be able to create joint ventures. Joint ventures are amazing because if you connect with other people who are in a similar market, you can double your audience like this,
Yeah,
you know?
more than double, probably.
More than double, exactly. And collaborations. So that's just a few, not to mention that the clients that are going to come from that. So if you can really hone in on creating those strong connections online and offline, you're winning. You're going to win, and you're actually gaining a skill that is absolutely necessary for when you actually decide to scale. Okay, then you're going to scale really with a lot of ease. And so the things that we talked about were, proximity. You have to have that proximity. Know where your clients are. Do the research or pay the ads. Ad fraud. Frequency, consistency. How often are you having these conversations and relationships, and how often are you showing up on their feed? Okay. Duration. How long is the duration of your, how long are you, is that relationship? Is it someone you just met yesterday? Or, have you guys been in touch a few times or a few years? A lot of my clients, it blows my mind. It's like clients that are signing up with me now are people who have been on my email list for years. Duration is there. The trust has been built. They've bought some of my other products, right?
Could it also be the duration of your content?
Yeah, it can also be the duration of your content.
Reels versus long form videos on YouTube.
One leads to the other.
Yeah, totally.
So we'll talk about that another day.
That's a whole big topic.
That's a big topic. And also intensity. Like, are you being real, or are you just staying on the surface? And listen, if your audience is someone who likes to skim on the surface, that's fine. Just know that. Know that. How can you go deeper with your people? Intensity matters.
There's a reason why you have to dig for gold. Gold is not on the surface.
True. That's very true. I love that.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
yeah. So
All right.
that's
Let's
it.
wrap it up. This was great. I mean, if you have any questions, after the live is done and you're watching the replay, feel free to drop them here. We're always gonna check in the comments and make sure that you're taken care of. So let's wrap it up. Like what,
Let's invite them. Let's invite them to our thing. We
let's
have this
do it.
amazing opportunity next week. We are doing a free live stream 3-day challenge. It's going to be awesome. So just to give everyone a little background on that, about 2 months ago, we did this amazing workshop, and everyone raved about it. We talked about 3 secrets to really building your online influence, your credibility, doubling your enrollments. And what we did is we decided, we had so much engagement and so much success with that workshop that we were like, you know what? Let's blow this up. Like there were times during the workshop that I was just like, I have so much more to share about this thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we broke it up into a 3-day challenge. It's going to be super packed with lots of stuff, very interactive. So we've actually never done this kind of thing before. So you're not going to want to miss that. So that starts May 13th through May 15th at noon Eastern Standard Time. And yeah, what do you have to say about that, Anna?
Yeah, I mean so we talked about that it was coming up in our live stream last week. So the people that dropped the word influence on that live stream, we're gonna get back to you if you haven't registered yet, if you haven't seen Marielle's email yet. But if you're watching this video and you're here and you received Marielle's email, that's where the registration is. But the registration link, and it's a free challenge. I don't know if you already mentioned that. Maybe it escaped my mind. But drop the word influence again here on this live stream if you want to take part in it. It's called From Invisible to Influential. It's a 3-day event that will help you double your online presence and your student enrollment. Which is ultimately, this is kind of like an intro to that three-day event. And we're so excited. You're gonna be with us in Zoom. You're not just gonna be watching us live from Facebook. There's no extra fee that you gotta pay to get in the Zoom with us. It's gonna be very interactive. It's really a good place. Like if the only thing that you got, thank you, Kat. I see your message, your comment. If you resonate with that, and like if the only thing that you get from this 3-day event is the clarity and direction where you're going to take your business in 2024, doggy, I mean, it's going to be so worth it. And it's free. So really the only investment is your time, and your effort to engage in the exercises that we're going to give you. They're going to be very, very powerful. Like we're seeing like breakthroughs coming from this.
Yeah. Yeah. We're actually going to be giving you coaching. So, it's not just going to be that, the kind of challenge where we give you a little taste here and there. I mean, I do see the value in that, but we're actually going to take it a step further than that.
Yeah.
So join us. It's going to be fun. It's going to be amazing. Penny is going to be there, right, Penny? Going to be there too. And we will see you there. So,
Always trying to get the attention.
oh my girl, she just loves her belly rubs.
Michaela said, will a replay be available? Yes, the replays will. So we're actually going to go live simultaneously in this group as well. So the replays will be available immediately.
But you have to register for the opt-in so that you can get the actual exercises that we're going to be sharing
Yes,
along
yes,
the replays.
yes. So feel free to register, and be still watch the replay, and then the replays will be available for limited time after that.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you for joining us today. We loved having you. There's more of you here today than the last few weeks, so it's awesome. With summer coming and all that, we all need to have kind of like a structure, right? And I think this 3-day event is gonna be what's gonna give you that momentum and that structure in the summer. Especially with kids being home and stuff. So
Yeah.
all right. Yeah.
All right. We'll see you
We'll see
guys
you next week.
next week.
Yep. Bye bye.